Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to join me today. I'm excited to introduce you to a brand new product released from SAASTEPS, our new form builder. SAASTEPS Form Builder is 100% native to Salesforce and built to give companies a faster, simpler, and more scalable way to create forms directly inside the Salesforce platform. What makes this product different is that it's completely declarative. That means there's no coding required. Anyone can use it through a simple point-click configuration, drag and drop design, and easy administration. In most cases, setup, training, and creating your first form can take less than an hour. And because everything lives inside Salesforce, your data stays where it belongs. There's no syncing data across disconnected systems. There's no duplicated records, and there's no need to manage multiple internal vendors. This technology can be used to create nearly any type of form. From contact us forms and employee onboarding to training assessments, scorecards, customer intake forms, product offerings with payment options, surveys, award recognitions, and so much more. The reality is that most businesses today rely on multiple form tools that live outside of Salesforce. Our goal with SAASTEPS Form Builder is to help companies standardize their technology stack, reduce vendor sprawl, and bring more workflows into a single platform and a unified data model. For many organizations, this becomes the first step towards consolidating SaaS applications into a more connected, efficient ecosystem. And this is only one part of what SAASTEPS delivers. When companies partner with us, they can start small by activating one portion of our managed package and then grow into our complete customer revenue lifecycle solution over time. We do not replace Salesforce at all. We enhance Salesforce with our 100% native capabilities designed to unify operations, simplify workflows, and create a stronger data foundation for growth. Today, I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to use Form Builder, how quickly you can launch your first form, and how this technology can help simplify the way your business works today. Let's get started. As I've now logged into Salesforce.com, this is actually SAASTEPS' production environment. One of the things that we do pride ourselves is we do primarily demo our solutions in a production environment, just showing you that we use the same technologies that we're actually offering out to our customers. We see this as a very valuable piece because at any point in time, if you have a problem with the technology, you can call us up through our normal support line, or you can email us at support@saasteps.com. And ultimately, we will get connected with you to walk through exactly what your problems are while we're actually doing it in our own environment. We find this creates a very symbiotic experience working with us as a vendor because we always know what's going on in your environment because we're using exactly the same technology. So from here, what you can see is I have navigated to an app that we called SAASTEPS Forms. SAASTEPS Forms brought in our form analytics, our SAASTEPS Forms Builder, the submissions, different analytic events because we track a lot of different things, as well as SAASTEPS setup and settings. Today, I'm going to walk you through our analytics and our SAASTEPS forms. Right now inside of Forms Analytics, what you can see here is a dashboard that gives you all of the data of what's been going on inside the system since it's been set up. Today you can see we have 59 total submissions, 48 that have been completed, 2 that are in draft. And so really this is giving me an understanding that we're doing a pretty good job here. Some of the conversion rates are off a little bit here because I did just delete actually about 150 drafts. And so this is actually, if you think about 150 drafts, our percentages are probably about right here. But from here, what you can actually see is different data that's ultimately going on in here. I can actually navigate to different information at any point in time to see what is actually been created. And so if I go to say the 14-day trial form, we can see that there's a total of 5 submissions that have been submitted and 3 that have been completed. The other way that I can look at data is I can look at all of the different responses. Today I'm looking at basically the responses of the 14-day trial in here, but if I go back up to all forms, I can actually see all the different forms that have been submitted. We can also review different things. So when you think about the responses that you have inside the system, if I want to select a specific response and have a reviewer review it, I can assign this to different reviewers inside the system, like Caden. And Caden will come back and basically do some work with us. And Caden can either be a reviewer or an approver of those different reviews. And so there's some pretty cool actions that you can do here. And I'll just quickly put some information in here for you to see. So I'm going to send this off really quickly and get this all started. So let's do that. Alrighty, so that submission has been sent to different reviewers inside the system. And now what we could do is we can go and look at the reviewers. And so let me just refresh this really quickly. We've got Caden in here. Caden is actually an approver and a reviewer. And so if any point in time I want to look at what Caden's doing, I can actually go check out this information. And I'm actually going to open this up in an incognito window just to give you a glimpse into what this looks like. And so this is the view for me as an internal person, but this is the same view that basically Caden would have received in her admin at SAASTEPS environment. So the reason why I'm using an incognito window is really just to show that we do not need any Salesforce licenses to get access to this information. What we do need is the email that's on file, which is actually connected to the token that's been encrypted here for this actual site. And so I'm going to connect in here, and now I can see the information around what I need to scorecard. I can see that I have Kevin Spander's information in here. Kevin's a Salesforce architect, works for a company named Coden, got phone numbers in here. We know a decent amount of information. It looks like Kevin went in and answered all the different details that we really like to gather from the different surveys about understanding where customers are at. Doesn't look like Kevin downloaded any of our templates or loaded any up, but looks like they do need some help structuring their data. So now at least we know a little bit more about this. And you know what? Oh, they got bundles. Cool. That's great. They're using spreadsheets. Wonderful. That means that we could work off of their existing spreadsheets and load up all that data into SAASTEPS and Salesforce very easily. Today they're using invoicing, manual, and QuickBooks and Stripe. So those are other areas that we can actually consolidate all of that efforts into Salesforce using SAASTEPS' billing and invoicing and payment management solution. So lots of different things that you can see here that Kevin's going through, and looks like they would really like to generate quotes, automate invoicing, subscription, and renewal operations. And doing it themselves is really what's important to them. So this is great. So it looks like Kevin's a solution architect. So, from what's their role? It looks like we have a pretty good role to work with. And this is a scorecard that we put together to help understand, is this a good potential prospect for SAASTEPS as an example? Would they like to attend that workshop? Yep, they do. Do they have a dedicated Salesforce admin? Yes. Can, they make decisions in the workshop? Yes. What version of Salesforce are they using? It's great. They're using one of the ones that we need. And again, we can go through and basically scorecard all of this up, which helps us basically get a better understanding of the person that we're actually talking to. And we could send this to multiple different reviewers. But if we like what basically Kevin has said here, and we want to give Kevin a good review, this looks like a good lead. We can basically continue on here. And so I'm going to save this up, and then we're going to submit that for review. So now it's been basically submitted. So that's been completed. Great, wonderful. At any point in time, I can go back in. I could actually award this as a great opportunity. I could submit it to one of the salespeople. There's a number of different things that we could do here. So this is really just an overview of our dashboard. We also have the ability to do check-ins. So at any point in time, if you want to create a QR code against a form, like maybe for an event that you're having people attend, you ultimately then can scan that QR code and check people in, knowing that they're actually at the event, or scan that card, that QR code, and check them back out. So some cool functionality that we have there. Field analytics actually helps us track all the different information across the specific fields that are inside of these forms. So if we want to see how long it takes for people to answer different questions, we can actually take a look at that information, as well as we're actually managing all the consumption of what data people are loading up into the system so that we know exactly what's going on. So that way we can actually track all this information appropriately for you, and you can purge information that is ultimately not needed at that time. Anyhow, this is a quick introduction to our forms builder here and the analytics side of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a quick demonstration of how to create a form or how forms are used. So we're going to jump over here into forms. And here I basically have a number of forms that are centered around a free trial. And we're going to open up this one right here, which is the 14-day free trial form. And anybody that would like to try out SAASTEPS Forms, we are offering a 14-day free trial. It is a solution you can get up and running in less than an hour, and you'll be able to create a form like what I'm going to be presenting to you here today. And what you're seeing right now is the environment of a finished form. I'm actually going to open up that finished form and show you what that looks like. So we'll scroll over here and we'll see this form. So we've got, a nice banner here. We've got basically a specific question that we're going through. Where are your forms landing today? I'm going to say a mix of all of these. What's one thing you would change your week if it just worked? Honestly, all of these would really help my life. How many submissions or applications or signups are you processing per month? Let's just say 50 to 500. What CRM do you use? This is an interesting question. Honestly, if you use another CRM, we don't currently support other CRMs today. And you could then navigate out to a video here where we could talk to you about consolidating multiple siloed systems. But if you are a Salesforce customer, then guess what? Congratulations, you are qualified. You can absolutely use our solution. You can get started very quickly. We just really need you to sign in, fill out some information, and then you can take a look at a 90-second video, which actually might be a little bit longer. But ultimately, you'll receive a step-by-step video tutorial guides to help you walk you through this implementation. But we are going to walk you through it. It takes less than an hour. We would love to spend that time with you. And so you would go in here and you would fill out your information as, Kevin, I don't know. And we could do Kevin, let's say Bender. And then we'll put his name in here. We'll just put contact us, SAASTEPS.com. So this is what all of you have to do, or all of you can do to basically set up your account to get information. And from here, basically, well, actually, if we'll use your company legal name. We'll just call it SAASTEPS Training. And anything specific you want to do, honestly, create as many forms as I can and manage all inside Salesforce. That's really what I want. So, and you can go and then check out. So let's do that. So yes, give me my 14-day trial. So basically what's going on now is it's going to send that information out to you, and then you can listen to a specific video. So then you could listen to a specific video about some of the different things that we're doing here. But let's go back to this specific form and let's look at that. So now you saw the form that we created. You see the end result. You saw what we went through. And you can see here, what did we do? We created a radio button. We created a radio button, another radio with some questions. All of these have questions. We put some rich text file data here. There are some conditionalities. So that's what this one is. What the P1 is page one. If we wanted to put things on multiple pages, we could do that. You can see that we have some end actions here. The end action means if you basically hit this step, there's no step to move forward, or you reallocate people to different steps, like a landing page, like another form, like a YouTube video, etc. So here we can collect some specific information about the organization and some additional details. So this is basically how this form is created. And it's just through the ability of dragging and dropping this on the screen. So I'm going to show you how we do that. There's also some additional form settings in here, from basic branding, email, submit behavior, reviewers, decisions, security, integration. As an example, we've got different security, reCAPTCHA, we've got SAASTEPS and Google CAPTCHA in here. So some cool information, but let's go and actually create a new form. And so I'm going to show you how we do that from scratch. So let's do that. And I'm going to go back to forms here, and we're going to go to new. And so we could either copy from an existing form, so build from existing templates, or we can start off at a blank form. And I'm going to start off at a blank form, but actually before I do that, I do want to share with you that we do have a clone button here, and all you have to do is push clone, and this entire thing's cloned up within a second. And so just to give you an example, I'll show you. Boom, we've now cloned it. This entire thing has now been cloned, and you can see it says copy right here. For me to change that slug, all I have to do is come in here and change this copy to, training test. And then we can change this to training test. And now we have saved this new form and we are set to go. And this thing is actually live. So let me just show you. I'll open this up in an incognito window. There you go, training test. This one's branded a little bit differently because it's in a white format versus a dark mode format, which we can go and administer at any point in time. So that's how fast you can create forms and modify them, obviously, right? But what we're going to do, and we're going to go back to doing, is we're going to just go to this forms. We're going to create a new form. I'm going to do it from a blank form. So now that you have this blank form here, there's nothing going on. It's a form, it's new form, it's got a specific number. So the first thing that I traditionally do is I go over to form settings here. And I'm going to just call this training form. And I'm going to basically change the slug to training form 1. Actually, I'll put 1 here as well. Great. If I want this form to be connected to an object, I can do that. It could have leads, contacts, accounts, anything that's in here. Right now, I'm just going to do it towards leads. If I want to include an event mode, we just check that box there. If I want to enable all the detail analytics and track everything that we're going to do, we check that box there. Super simple stuff, but I'm going to just leave this one in right now. For event mode, one of the things that you need to do is actually you need to, for the submit behavior, when we have a success message come up for event mode, you need a QR code. So I'm going to actually just get this QR code, and it's different for obviously every person. It's tied to the specific person that's submitting the actual form, but I'm going to actually add in that QR code just so that we have that. Everything else I'm going to leave here. Actually, I'll change the security type to SAASTEPS CAPTCHA. And other things here, branding we could do as well. If we go into branding here, we've got different logos or banners. I'm going to load up a specific banner. The banner should be 1440 by 2020. And then we'll upload that specific banner. Let's get that in here. So we've got this one right here. I'm going to center it a little bit. And then we'll apply it. So we're good to go. Any point I can add in a fav icon. I can also add in a specific default font family. So I'm going to use Roboto. And if I wanted to turn on dark mode or focus mode, we could do that later. But let's keep these standard settings as standard, and we'll keep it, the basic settings set up, and we're good to go. Let's now actually go build this form. The reason why you see company and last name here is because we actually set up a form that's tied to a lead, and these are the two minimum requirements that we need to actually set up a lead. So you're already set up on this form to actually be able to take in lead information for Salesforce. But what we're going to do here is we're actually going to create a section header. And to start, this is just going to be a simple contact us form. And then I'm going to add in some additional questions. So keep it super simple for right now. So I'm just going to say contact information. I'm going to add in another text. So see, I'm just clicking the button here, but then I can drag it up here. And this one's going to be first name. And because I tied this to the actual Salesforce lead, I can actually map it to the specific field. So I'm going to go grab first name really quickly here. There's first name. The other thing here is if I don't want to retype this and I want to have all this all capitals, I could do it this way as well. So depending on how you want things to look inside the system, you could do that. If this needs to be required, I'll put that as required. We're good to go on that one. Right now in the spacing of where I have this on the screen, I have it as a half of the screen. If I did 2/3, it would take over more of that screen. Obviously, they're 3/4 in full width, right? It comes down to how you want to actually stack your different information, but this is just an easy way to navigate through an easy configuration of the actual form. So next we'll put in last name here. We'll make that required. Let's put that uppercase. Let's add in a phone number and we'll just drag that there. We'll make that required as well. And what else do we need? Email, right? So let's grab the email here and we'll put work email. And the nice thing here is work email. Email is also in here. There it is. Phone number, I believe, is also in here. Cool. All right. So everything is mapped. We're good to go. We have now officially saved this and we've created our first form. So let's go take a look at that training form number 1 in an incognito window, and we will see that our first form is now created. And that is how easy this is. Training form, contact details, company information, all of it's required except for the work email. We could fill this out and submit it. Some other things that you can do here as an example is I can add in, number of different things here. So if I wanted to, I could add in a rich text document section here if I want. So if I want to put rich text, if it's rich text, one of the things that we can do here is if I don't want to show this label, I can hide the label. So I can even hide it in the form if I want to. If I want to, I can make this part of the page 2. And so we can then put another section header down here where, maybe this is an introduction. And so because we have this as an introduction, we'll put this on page 2 as well. And then I don't have any specific information to put in here, so we could just put as soon as I save this up and we go back and we look at this specific link, you'll see that that data has now been created for us. And we're on page 2. So I do have to fill out this information. So I will do this really quickly. And we'll go to next. So here you go, introduction, some details to share with you. So again, super easy to do these different things inside the system. We'll go back over here. You can see the forms here. So we can add in different things like drop boxes, radio buttons, multi-select. You could do file upload, file download. You can embed videos. You could do a Salesforce lookup. You could calculate information. You could trigger off Apex actions or flows. There's a lot of different things that you can do here in the system. One of the things that I just want to share with you, and then we'll kind of call this a day, is that we could do things like let's do a radio button here, and let's change this to, just trying to think, let's say, do you like the color blue? And then the values are going to just be yes or no. And so we'll make this a required field. We'll save that up. I am going to, let's see here. So I am going to get rid of this drop down, and I am going to then add in this multi-select option. What shade of blue do you like? Question. So, maybe what we'll do here is we'll then say, light blue, dark blue, something like that, right? Keep it simple, right? But what I am going to do is I'm going to make this conditional. And I'm going to make this conditional based off of the question, do you like the color blue? And if I say yes, then this will pop up. So I'll save that up. And we are good to go. And so do I like the color blue? Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to delete these other pieces here because they're just not necessarily required in showing you this. So do you like the color blue? Yes or no. And what shade of blue do you like? So let's go do that. We'll make this 3/4. We'll make this 3/4 just to give you those examples. Alrighty. So now let's go open this up. I'm going to do it in an incognito window just in case there's any caching. I'll fill out the specific information here again. And we'll go to next here, and then some details to share with you. And here's that conditionality. No, yes. And then I can select the different options. Anyhow, this really kind of concludes what I wanted to share with you. We built a form, we did all this stuff. I don't know how much time this recording is. It's probably like 20, 25 minutes, but still you could see that getting things set up inside of our system is extremely quick. And so we really appreciate you taking the time to look at this. Now we've got obviously some additional submissions that have been submitted in here, and things are changing very rapidly. This is a great solution for anybody that wants to use forms. It took me less than an hour myself to learn this technology, and now I'm using it every single day. It's replacing every form builder that I've used externally, and I'm using it now with my Salesforce. And the nice thing is all the data can load into different objects inside of my Salesforce that I choose. So if you want to use this for support cases, we can log those support cases into your case management system inside of Salesforce using SAASTEPS forms. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening to this opportunity. And really, I guess my last question to all of you is, who's ready to see how quickly they can actually build their first Salesforce native form? Because all you have to do is go to our form sign up page and sign yourself up, and you will be ready to rock and roll. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.